It's your girl Dee with more tea with Dee. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're about to dish on everything that came out in this bombshell of an interview. Meghan, Harry, Oprah sat down. It aired on CBS and it was a 2-hour special. And not only that, at the end of the special, Oprah says that there's a lot that she had to cut out because they could not condense everything into 2 hours. So I'm expecting over the next 2 days a lot more will come out. But let's just talk about some of the things that it's not that we're in shock about racism as a black culture because we're very aware of racism, right? It's just the audacity of the leadership to display it in such a way to where it destroys almost someone, and they feel this sense of not being able to fit in, to the point where when they finally let it out, they let it out. And what we are finding out is some extremely uncomfortable and hurtful things, right? So for those of you who did not catch the interview, you probably want to log off and go catch that interview somewhere. Maybe it's on CBS. It aired live on CBS, Harpo production, Oprah's production, and CBS combined. So listen, Meghan talked about so much. She talked about how in the beginning, she's an actress and she knew who Prince Harry was, but she didn't do a whole lot of research into the family or into what it would be like to be this princess, this duchess, right? She didn't understand what the role meant. I thought it was really obvious when she said that, they're on the way to meet his grandmother. And, we all know that feeling when you're about to meet a family member of the person that you love. And, you're nervous because this person is going to look at you and make or break whether or not this is going to work sometimes, right? Depending on how close they are with their family, right? So she ended up, I hope if that cut off, you guys let me know. So she ended up learning how to curtsy within like 5 minutes right before going in to see the queen. Just some of the little things that, who knows this, coming from the outside, being an American coming from the outside, we know nothing about the full extent of what it's like to be a royal in the British culture, right? So there was a lot of mannerisms and things that she had to learn. But this interview goes on and she's sharing these stories of, just the tabloids were destroying her, and she felt that she wasn't being protected at so many times. And they privately got married. She says her and Harry and the Archbishop are the ones that it was a private ceremony before it was that big televised, beautiful wedding that we saw. So that was a shocker. That was something that we did not know. And in addition to that, the night before her wedding, she was trying to, I guess there was a conversation that was happening with Kate. The tabloids spin it that Meghan is, just typical negative language that they use about black women. But the tabloids, spin it like, Meghan is evil and disrespectful and rude and made Kate Middleton cry, and it was just really awful. So she says in the interview with Oprah, that's actually the opposite of what happened. So it was Kate Middleton that was complaining or had something that she did not like about the bridesmaids' dresses, and or some part of the dresses for the ceremony, and she got so angry that she yelled and she just really attacked her verbally, and later apologized. And just everybody in the family knew what had happened. Behind the scenes, behind the cameras, everyone knew what had happened. But they allowed the tabloids to go ahead and smear her name and put it out there like Meghan was the one who had did the dirty deed, and it was actually Kate. And they painted her to be a victim and made out like Meghan was the one. So that was already pretty much, I'm sure, for her a sign of where this was going, if she didn't already see it in the beginning when she was first dating Harry, and how, she was told, she says to Oprah that she was told, they'll protect me. They're going to protect me. So she would tell her family and friends, just, say no comment, say no comment. That's what she was told to tell her family and friends, and that they would protect her. And when it all turned out, no comment or not, they did not protect her. And it just got really, really messy. So she goes into this pregnancy, And just hearing the details of what she was going through, and so sad, and feeling alienated, and feeling lonely, feeling like she didn't really fit in. And then the discussion came from some part of the institution, and she did not reveal who said it, but they came to her and said, and came to her and Harry, I believe. Oh no, it came to Harry, but then Harry tells her that there's an issue with what color is the baby going to turn out. I'm, being a grandmother of mixed grandchildren, I just really just hate hearing that, just that constant, what color is the baby going to be? That's that colorism issue. Indeed, as if the person is going to be any less of the greatness that they are born into because of the color of their skin, right? And so, but it led on to a conversation that led to, well, if the baby is not light, white in skin tone, if the baby comes out dark, which I'm assuming is similar to the color, brown skin color of Meghan's mother, they were not going to provide security. So that's a devastating blow to a pregnant mother. And you're hearing, she knows that she has to go and do all these different missions and be away from her baby. So my baby's going to be with a nanny with no security because of the skin color that my baby may come out to be. That's very heartbreaking for a father, for a mother, first child, and already experiencing the attacks and the racism and the lack of safety. And to think that they have already promised you that there would be no security for your child that's not even born yet. So she definitely went through a lot. Just really devastating to hear her story. So you guys need to watch that interview. In addition to that, she also talks about, just being to the point where she couldn't take it no more. Fast forward through the interview. And she began to have suicidal thoughts. And she sits down with her husband, Prince Harry, and says, look, I want to kill myself and I can't be left alone. And the day that happened, she goes to this event and they pull those pictures up and you could see the look on their face. Harry looking like a husband, like, what do I do with this? Which he says in the interview, I don't know what to do with this. He doesn't have the tools to deal with that. The devastating part about that even more so is that Meghan reaches out to the institution, says, I need to go see a doctor. I have to go see somebody. I have this mental issue going on and I need to see somebody. And they refused. They told her she'd be okay, kind of subliminal, not really addressing it kind of thing, and let it go, and never gave her the help that she needed. And to see her have to sit down and say that to Oprah, that's just wow, So the real tea that I thought was a shocker was, it was 2 years before the announcement that Meghan and Prince Harry had begun to make the decision that maybe this is not good for us and maybe we need to step down from our duties. But their original request was, we're going to step down for our duties and just do part-time. They never said we want to fully be done. And the tabloids are putting out all these negative things, and that wasn't what they intended. I love to see how Harry pretty much stood by his grandmother that he loved so much, the Queen. Never said anything negative. Meghan never said anything negative about the Queen. But it was apparent that there is real tension that is being reported on correctly between Prince Harry and Prince William, which has to be devastating to the spirit of Diana, right? But her children are divided, and her husband is not, her ex-husband is not making it any better. Because Prince Charles, there was a time when Harry says in the interview that he was not talking to his dad, and he's barely talking to him now. And he said that there's, he loves his brother, Prince William, but, he hopes to repair it, but it's definitely not in a good place right now. So that was some, confirmed tea right there. Now, they make the decision. The Queen makes the announcement. January 2020, they start making moves. But when they got to Canada, they were told that they're not going to have the same security, even though it was just stepping down part-time. But they, I guess, not being full-time employees, technical. Basically, you chose that black female, so we're out, is what the royals seem to have done to Harry. And they snatched that away. So the tea is that our very own Tyler Perry shows up and he says, look, I have a house. And Prince Harry and Duchess Meghan, you can go to this house with the baby. I'm going to use my security and provide you with my security. Isn't that amazing? So I love Harry. He reminds me so much of Prince. So he did this kindness, act of kindness that, no public recognition kind of moment needed for him. He never needs it. And it was just good to hear. And so Harry says that they take off with the money that Diana left for him. And that's what they're living off of. And to step down for the royalty and the, billionaire status that is Prince Harry, to step away from it all to protect his wife and child, and now child-to-be. They have a girl on the way. That was a drop. And that was some tea in the interview. The baby bump is a girl. And just to do that and protect your family is Husband of the Year award indeed. From that moment, just hearing about Tyler Perry, I think from there they moved to LA. They're now Oprah's neighbor. They have their own thing going now and have found their own home. But they are definitely making their plans like any other couple, any other average everyday couple. The only difference is they used to be royalty, right? And they're having to find, Meghan's accustomed to life outside of it. But Harry, this is going to be a big stretch for him to undo a lifetime of being a royal, right? The tea is also dropped at the end of the interview that after they filmed the interview, not long after, they were sent some type of statement or letter that they're no longer, the part-time part is gone. Also, you are just no longer employees of the royal family. Ouch, right? So that's similar to being in a family and being blacklisted, and the whole family says, we're not going to speak to you anymore. For us everyday people, right? So that's heartbreaking. And they have a baby on the way, and she doesn't really have time as a mom to react to that. So the couple did say that they are only going for these two. They are not planning to have any more children, which is wise because their financial future is indeed hanging in the air right now, right? So, that interview was explosive. I was just looking at Oprah. She had that same look that I would have had if that had been said to me. She was like, what? Who told you? Who asked you what color would your baby be? How tacky is the royal family for that one, right? So, the subject of racism is high in the atmosphere. The subject of colorism is indeed at its height, and we need to have those conversations. Romeo International is actually going to be talking about it on his Instagram. I think he's going live at 4 p.m. Mountain, 5 Central, 6 Eastern to talk about colorism. So it's just past time. That's always been one I felt like just have the conversation because it's deep. And it all stems from, a time when the British have gone way, way back. I'm watching that Lincoln special on CNN, and there's some tea over there. If you have not watched that Lincoln special that is on CNN, go to CNN. If they have the website, try to figure out how to catch the episodes that you've missed, because that one right there, Lincoln wasn't the only racist. The British were indeed using racism as well at that time during the Emancipation Proclamation. So the British being racist is definitely nothing new. For those of us who have friends over there with dark skin tones, they experience quite a bit all the time. But it's just the royals, and so it's now the spotlight is all on them. So the subject of racism, that's where we're going to be going with a lot of the topics over there on I Am Dee Shields podcast. We're going to try to have a colorism conversation. But for the Facebook live streaming of More Tea with Dee, you need to go catch that first Facebook live streaming of it. Will be on the 20th, and I have 3 ladies coming from Central Texas, and they are going to have a conversation. They chose a topic, girl code. That particular topic is based off of, should a woman be talking to someone else's ex? What type of tea is going to be dropped in that? I can't wait to see where we go on that conversation, right? So, I hope you guys enjoyed this tea, but you do need to go see the special. It was 2 hours, and Oprah has some additional clips somewhere, I'm assuming on CBS, where they're going to show the parts that were left out, because she said it was definitely longer than 2 hours to put it together. Heartbreaking to hear. Meghan Markle, take care of yourself, take care of that baby on the way. And Harry, shouts out to you to being a man. I don't know a lot. I don't think I know too many men that will walk away from all of their money and their family for the woman that they love, for their child. And then you keep talking about the dogs as well. He loves his little family. And we love our little adorable Prince Harry, all grown up. Followed that child since being Princess Diana fan, so just seeing it all unfold. William is not shocking me, because I just knew that child was going to be snooty a patootie. So that is not a shock to me. Harry, I've always loved my Prince Harry. I love that child, so I love that this exposed a lot, because it explained a lot about what his mom was going through. Also, some tea. Check out the bracelet that she's wearing in the interview. So the bracelet that Meghan is wearing in the interview, that was a gift from, well, I don't know which family member gave it to her. Maybe, who knows? I don't know. Probably Harry, right? But anyway, it's Princess Diana's bracelet. So I love to see that she has much respect for Harry's grandmother, the Queen, and the Queen just being the epitome of class. That nothing negative came out about her. That definitely was some important part of the tea as well. All right, you guys, you have been here for an ep of More Tea with Dee. Thank you for stopping by. I appreciate you.